I find this a particularly interesting story and am curious your thoughts on this as well. Voice biometrics. This is over at The Guardian right now. Their news technology. It's a story picked up by the Associated Press from the Associated Press in London. The opening sentence, over the telephone, in jail, and online, a new digital bounty is being harvested. The human voice. Now, as I was walking to work this morning, got out of the train station. I mentioned on the way into the train station in the last hour, into the metro, the guy passing out the right-wing newspaper. When I got out of the metro and was walking over here to the radio studio, it's about a 3-block walk, and I was dictating an email on my phone with Siri, right? It's an Apple iPhone. And Siri has learned how to recognize my voice. Well, it turns out that voices are like fingerprints. And Apple now has my voice. And in fact, some of these really large, Mike Galdoff, an executive with the Madrid-based company, Nintio, one of about 10 leading companies in this field of harvesting voices, says we sometimes call it the invisible biometric. Dan Miller, an analyst, I'm reading from the piece in The Guardian from the Associated Press. Dan Miller, an analyst with Opus Research in San Francisco, estimates that the industry's revenue will roughly double from just under $400 million last year to around $900 million next year, $730 to $900. Barclays experimented with voice printing for its wealthiest clients. It was so successful, they're going to roll it out for their 12 million clients. Now, on the one hand, hey, super convenient. You want to know what's going on with your bank, or you want to check your credit cards, or you want to check your, fill in the blank. You want to buy something, whatever it may be. Just say a word or two, and immediately you are identified. There's no doubt about whether your phone got stolen or whether the computer is or isn't yours or whether that's actually you standing in the bank. It's kind of the ultimate ID. Say hello. Because our voices are incredibly unique. And now there's a level of sophistication to the software that breaks out our voices that it's like, hey, this is your fingerprint. And there are companies harvesting these things. I mean, in a really big way. In South Africa, roughly 7 million voice prints have now been collected by that country's social security agency, The police. In the U.S., law enforcement officials use the technology to monitor inmates and track offenders. The largest single implementation is in Turkey, where a mobile phone company called Turkcell has taken the voice biometric data of some 10 million customers. But government agencies are catching up, they say. What happens when there's no possibility of being anonymous? I mean, on the one hand, life is getting convenient. When I visit the Amazon website, they know exactly what I want. When I visit any website, they know exactly what I want. They put ads up that are based on my browsing history. If you have a Gmail account or probably any other of the big email accounts that deliver ads in exchange for giving you free email, you discover that the things that you talk about in email, because they're reading your emails, the things you talk about in email are the things that get advertised to you. Say, hey, I'm thinking of buying a house, or hey, my wife is pregnant, or whatever it may be, and suddenly you're getting ads for real estate companies and Pampers. I'm not exaggerating. Is this a good thing?